Hey there, Roguelike fans. We're back today with something that is ridiculously exciting to me. Probably not so much to you. When I grew up, the very first computer I ever witnessed was a Commodore PET. They came into my school. We eventually had a fleet of them in the library, but for a while there was only one in the entire school. We had like slide. My teacher was obsessed with computers, and when I was in the fourth grade, and he did like a slideshow presentation on the fact that this computer was coming and here's all the different components of it. And God, was I excited about this thing. Just seeing this green blinking monochrome display at the center of the screen here gets my engine revving. It churns up nostalgia that literally hurts my heart with pleasure. So we're going to take a look at it today for one specific reason. The very first roguelike I ever encountered was on the Commodore PET when I was about 9 years old, maybe 10 or 11 years old. I don't quite know. Let's go to maybe Program Library. Oops, I got to go into the. Let me go into the actual thing instead of as I always do. Let's try this directory. All right, disk directory. Let's go to disk directory. This is an online emulator, by the way. I've downloaded Commodore PET emulators many times in the past and tried to get some of these things running, and with varying degrees of success, but at no point have I ever been able to get the following game actually functioning. But here at this online emulator, it does work, and that is Dungeon. Let's click left here, and let's load it. All right, load Dungeon, 8. Fuck, that's beautiful. All right, we're going to press Enter to begin. And I'm going to go back into here just for a minute. This is going to take a while, so I'm going to talk to you. It literally takes a minute just to set up the random dungeon. Yeah, when I was about 10 or 11, maybe as late as 13 years old, I had seen this game on the Commodore PET. I'd played it a handful of times, but it was very, very hard for me to get access to it. I was one of a select few in my school who was blessed with the right to take home the computer on weekends. I don't know why. I was a decent student, I guess. I was actually a hell of a troublemaker, but I was like an A-plus troublemaker, so I kind of got the benefit of the doubt even when I had to talk to the chief of police for pulling fire alarms and shit. But for whatever reason, yeah, they let me take the damn computer home on weekends, and I would spend my time either playing this game occasionally or programming my own games. This game really got me into the idea of playing, because I was into D&D at the time. Why is it important beyond the fact that it is a very, very early roguelike? It's 1979, which means it came out the year before Rogue. So it is not influenced by Rogue as far as I can tell. Rogue may or may not have been influenced by it in some way. I can't say. I'm going to keep talking even after it has the dungeon set up here for a second just to tell you some history that's important to me. Of course, in 1995, I made my game, Caverns of Zascasian. And at the time that I made that, in 1995, the only two games I had seen that would qualify as roguelikes were this, Dungeon on the Commodore PET, and Sword of Fargoal on the Commodore 64, neither of which that I have a lot of experience with. So to me, this is super influential. It was one of the few things I had experienced that led me to create my own game. And to be perfectly honest, for the entire life cycle of Caverns of Zascasian, that remained true. For the 15 years I worked on that game, this and Sword of Fargoal were the only other two roguelikes I'd ever seen. Until about 2013, eventually in the mid-2000s, I learned that there were other games of this nature. I didn't know that the whole time I was coding my own game. About 2013 or so, I actually allowed myself to start looking at those other games. And of course, you can see I got into them. I'm here doing this channel. But yeah, even for the first 3 years of Caverns of Zascasian 2, this game and Sword of Fargo were the only two examples I had of roguelikes that I'd ever played. So it's big to me. All right, we're going to use the number pad. We're going to move around here. There is an objective in this game. You see that little G to my northeast? If you can see, I'm the little circle. That little G to my northeast is gold. If we step on that, we'll get the gold. As far as I understand it, I've read this online somewhere, there are 11 such gold squares, distributed across this dungeon. And possibly other dungeons if you can go to other levels, I don't know. But collecting all 11 of them will win you the game. Usually you'll die before that happens. Let's move using the D-pad, not D-pad, whatever the fuck this is, numpad. Let me go into my game again. Sorry, guys, I keep coming back to my window and doing it. Okay, my OBS Studios right now. Here we go. As you can see, you can only see one square around you. That would remain true of Caverns of Zascasian for the longest time, too, precisely because this is where I learned about coding. What is that? That is a monster called a Nuibus. Don't know what the fucking Nuibus is. If it steps on us, we'll have to fight it. I'm going to try to avoid it for now. Oh, it's moving away. That's interesting. You engage in combat the exact same way you do in my own game, and I guess it's not coincidentally. I either consciously or subconsciously stole from both this and Sword of Fargol, which use the exact same method, which is you have to occupy the same square as a monster to fight it, not bump to attack. We'll probably see that in action in 1 second. Okay, it's on us. And attack! You see our hit points drop to 48. But the Nuibus is dead, so we killed it. Our hit points got raised. So when you kill a monster in this, as I understand it, you gain some experience. I don't know if the experience means anything. But you also gain hit points based on the hit points of the monster you killed. So you can get your hit points back and even raise them up by killing monsters. You'll also notice, watch our hit points as we walk around. They're dropping as we walk. Every 3 turns, you lose hit points, supposedly. It looks like we've gone more than 3 now. But allegedly, in the original game, every 3 turns. Can you go on diagonals? Yeah, you can move 8 directional movement. It is. I've seen videos of this played on YouTube since, because again, I've been nostalgic for it, and I can't deny it's not a glorious game. Let's walk around here a bit. Maybe there is no way out of here. Sometimes there was rooms that were closed off. To get past that, you had to hold down Shift and kind of walk out into the darkness. It was a fault of the game. Brian Sawyer was the gentleman who programmed this. Oh, is that even working? You may move. Shift is not letting me do it. Oh, dudes. Does Shift not work? Can I use the on-screen keyboard here? I'm going to try pressing Shift. Okay, I've got the Shift. As you can see at the bottom of your view, there's sort of a little keyboard layout displayed. That is the actual keyboard layout of the Commodore PET, what the keys looked like at the time. There's a few off the bottom of the screen here. I could scroll down, but then we're just going to mess up our recording, so I'm not going to bother. But I've clicked on Shift, and it is highlighted, so maybe that'll allow me to move as if the Shift key was on. It doesn't seem to be. We might be out of luck, guys. I was really excited to show you this game, and I might not be able to show you much of it. But let's try and see if we can get out of this room. If not, we'll try and start over. But there might be a quirk of this online emulator where it's always starting with the same random numbers, which may mean we're stuck in the same room as well. What if I use their you're clicking on their online keys. Oh, the Shift key came off. Can we go over to here? Click down Shift, and then click here. Okay, that worked. I might have to use their keys. Now you can see I'm into another room. Okay. That is it's a fucking goblin, or a dragon rather, with 64 hit points. We don't want to face it. It's got more hit points than we do. I don't know if I can get out of here. I've got to use their stupid keys. Clicking on Shift on theirs, and I'm clicking 6 on their keys. That let me walk through the wall mysteriously. A Gru. This game predates the commercial release, at least, of Zork, which is where Gru certainly became popularized in modern fantasy. The Gru will leave. I guess we bribed it or something? Oh, if you give it half your gold. Yes. I will consent to do that. I'm trying to press Y. I did. You may move. Okay, it's gone. But apparently they came from a fantasy series by a gentleman named Jack Vance. That's where they came from in terms of into our concept of fantasy. Gold 20.5. That's interesting. That's a door. I don't know if it has any effect on play. It's a little annoying that you have to use the keys at the base of the on-screen keys sometimes to affect Shift. But what are you gonna do? Oh fuck! Is that another dragon? I'm dead here. I'm sure. You're dead. And it'll now give us a map of the entire level. Killed 1 beast. What do we kill? Oh, yeah, Nuibus. There are no weapons to find. There are no spells to use. It's a very simple game. You just walk around and find the gold. But the very concept of exposing a fog of war and the concept of a randomly generated dungeon, to me was... I'm going to press yes and keep babbling. Yes. Setting up. Let's see if it gives us the same dungeon or something new. It might be something new now that we're in the middle of a game, but I think if we load it again from start, it might be the same. I'm not sure. To me, that very base concept of hey, there's a random dungeon and you can explore it from a top-down view, and it comes into view as you explore it. For a kid, whose only other computer gaming options were at home on the Atari 2600, and that was a great system. I enjoyed it. But that was all action-based. This was bizarre in that it was turn-based. There were random dice rolls. That was just unheard of at the time in gaming, for the most part. At least in my experience. Certainly on an Atari 2600 or in an arcade, you wouldn't get that experience. So this was really something special to me. We're going to take a look at it. We're also going to take a look at another game that was influenced by it next, I guess. Just to get it out of the way, because I just discovered it online, and we got to cover all the damn roguelikes we can find. And I'll forget it exists if I don't go to it next, so we'll go to that next. Setting up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're almost there, boys. Okay, it's a different dungeon. I'm going to use my own numpad for now, and then we'll use the shift thing if we have to. Door. Nuibus! Last time we fought it, we beat it and won. Let's try and kill it again. An attack. It has 16 hit points left. We're beating it. An attack. It has 4 hit points. An attack. Don't kill us. Alright, thank God. Nuibus is dead. Alright, we technically gained 4 hit points out of that and got some experience for what that's worth. I'm not sure if the experience actually did anything. I used to think it had something to do with your hit points going up, but it may not. I think that's a spider to my east, but we need that gold, so we're going to go there anyway. We found 2 gold pieces, there's another piece of gold. An attack! The spider is dead. Although our hit points are... Oh, let's find out. Maybe they'll go up in a second. Oh, we may move. We didn't get any hit points out of that. We must have lost so much that we didn't gain any back. Constantly dropping health is not fun. Although that is remedied in the next version of this game we'll look at. Not really a version of this game. This was made, by the way, by a gentleman named Brian Sawyer, and it came distributed... I think that's a snake, if I remember correctly. It came distributed with Cursor Magazine, which was a literal magazine that would come, and it would for the Commodore series of computers, I believe, or maybe even for computing in general. Did we get any hit points, baby? Come on. Yeah. And it... so that's, I guess, key to staying alive is you have to kill monsters to get hit points, or else you're not going to live long enough to complete the adventure. My God, if I can actually beat this and put it on my list of beaten games, my heart will sing. You have no idea. It'll be a childhood dream come true. Let's grab that gold. I got it. There's more ahead. Yeah, it came distributed with Cursor Magazine, not on a disc or anything. It would be actually typed into the print of the magazine. Here's the code. And you'd have to sit down and code it into your computer. Oh, I won! He didn't kill us, right? I'll have to review this. No, there's lots of gold out there still. I guess I didn't win. He must have killed me. I didn't see the words I was babbling, of course. Well, there you can see was the rest of the gold. I mean, I'm not going to keep you watching this because you've seen the game. How long has it been? Let's find out. It's been less than a half hour. I may try one last time. Oh, it's been 13 minutes. I'm going to go one more, guys. Just one, I promise you. I'd like to win it. I'd like to win it with you watching. But you certainly do not have to feel compelled to keep watching. I recognize that the simplicity of this game is almost unrivaled in all of gaming. We saw some other... Legend of Ekma was probably a little simpler than this, but not much. Although its graphics were unbelievably slightly better than this. What was I saying to you, though? Yeah, you'd have to type in the code yourself, although eventually, of course, people started typing in the code and then they'd save it to tape, and then those tapes would get distributed, which is how I came into contact with the game. You, of course, had to load back then. If you didn't have a disk drive, and I'm not sure we always did, you had to load from tape, which would also take some time. I remember playing Temple of Apshai on the Commodore 64 on tape. And you'd have to, when you went to enter the dungeon, you'd have to leave the room for like 10 minutes and come back in before you could play. So long it took to load. Different times, man. You had to have patience to game. Alright. Alright, winning run right here. Uh-oh, fucking dragon right next to us. Let's try and get away from it. I moved north, or it can't go north. Let's go west. I'm gonna use their special shift key. So I'm clicking on their shift key. It grays it out to show you that it's pressed, and then I'm gonna press 4 on their number pad. There you go. It doesn't seem to work otherwise, but once I'm in here, oh, maybe not. I still got to do it again. But at least he can't follow me. Let's go north now. Are my hit points dropping faster when I'm out here? They are. That's interesting. I didn't know that. New aspect of the game. Your hit points seem to drop by like 3 for every turn you're in the darkness here. Or 2 or something. They drop by a certain amount. That's interesting. Completely different aspect of the game I was unaware of until right now. I probably could have gone diagonally there and gotten in here. Okay, we're in. Oh, fuck. The snake's got more health than I do. If he kills me right here, I'm playing again. He can't follow through doors. That's awesome. Another little bit of the AI that, I mean, it's true in caverns too. There's certain, Jesus Christ, a spider with 9 hit points is near. I might have to try and kill it just to stay in the game. It has 6 hit points. Let's keep walking and drag it with us. Alright, I'm dead. I'm going to load one more. Because that was terrible. And we learned more about the game right there. Snakes, for sure, cannot go through doors. I don't know if maybe all monsters can't go through doors. It's possible. And the other thing we learned is that when you're in the darkness, you take damage. That's great to know, because I used to always think that was a cheat. I remember seeing another player when I was like maybe 10 or 11. There was like a 13-year-old kid. He seemed like an adult to me, playing the game. And I was looking over his shoulder, and he started pressing shift and walking off into the darkness. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I found a secret passage. And I didn't know at the time. I remember specifically questioning in my head, is he cheating? Or is that part of the game? Turns out it's part of the game. And it turns out there is actually a penalty for doing so, which I think raises the quality of that aspect of the game a wee bit. I got to keep talking. We got 30 seconds of watching a number countdown here. I could, of course, edit this, just skip ahead. That would be the wise thing to do for any YouTuber, but I'm not going to, because this is part of the game, is sitting and waiting while this clock ticks down. So I think it's important to not only accept that fact, but also celebrate that fact, that we can play the game as it was originally intended to be seen. As the excitement heightens as these numbers reach down to 0. Okay. Excitement at maximum. Alright, gold. 1 gold pieces. I don't think it matters how much you find. Maybe it does. Maybe I did win. Maybe you only had to find 11 gold worth. I don't know. Let's keep an eye on that. I didn't notice how much I had found before. Gold. We have 3 gold worth, and we found 2. I was on there's a website I sometimes go to, the CRPG Addict. There's a gentleman who's playing every single computer role-playing game ever made in rough chronological order. Not necessarily always in chronological order. Oh, fuck. I grew. More gold. I mean, if we only need to find 11, we only need 1 more. But it was on that website that somebody in the comments said there is a way to win. You have to find... He said there are 11 gold pieces scattered across the map, the G's. If you find them all, you win. So does that mean 11 gold pieces, as in when that number hits 11 instead of 10 we win? Or does that mean we have to find 11 G's? I would guess the latter, but I'm not sure. Did we get anything out of that? Okay, we got lots of hit points out of that. Good stuff. More gold. We'll find out right here. Did that win it for us, or are we... No, we got lots of gold there. Alright. I've lost track of how much we've actually collected. This guy's got a lot of hit points. I think their hit points are kind of based on yours. You saw when our hit points were low, their hit points were low. It's kind of a weird little system, but, you know, it is what it is. Fuck. Ah. Well, let's hope we kill him. Oh, we did 1 shot. We 1-shotted him. We got lots of health now. Of course, if their health are also going higher, I mean, it saves us in terms of walking around. We're not going to starve to death, you know. I guess we chopped up the Gru and ate him. Or added him to our kit bag to eat later or something, you know. If you think of that constantly lowering health as a hunger clock. Gold, we need it. We gotta get it. I didn't see how much health that Nuibus had. Found lots of gold. We have more than him, which I think bodes well in general, but I don't know if it bodes well enough. We'll find out. Okay, there we go. There we go. Our hit points have been raised. Let's win this game. I literally got excited. Oh, fuck me. I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. I literally got excited to see that there. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to use the old walk through the fucking wall method. I guess there was a bit of strategy here. Oops. So shift is on. We're going to press 2 on here. Shift 2. Shift 2. All right, we don't deal with that fucking spider anyway. I'd rather walk through darkness than deal with a giant spider that has more health than I do. Wyvern, I remember them. Like, that's a distinct memory of this game, is those fucking wyverns. I mean, it might make more sense to kill him now while I have more health. Like, if I keep walking around, my health is going to drop. Alright, we got him. Oh, we didn't get anything out of it, though. Fuck that action. Why is that? I definitely want high health now, because I may have to walk off into the darkness a lot, and I don't want to drop dead as a result of that, you know? That appears to be the limit of where we can physically get to without, you know, walking through walls. So let's try and go north here. Wish me luck, guys, as I journey out into the darkness. Okay. Let's find some gold up here. Fuck. I don't want you to kill me. Although I have more health than you. There's no gold up here. That sucks. Killed it. Give me some health. Fuck you. Alright, we're going to go, I guess, to the east through the wall. Seems like the closest way to do it. Again, clicking on the shift key on screen and the 6 key on the numpad on screen seems to be the only way to get through this wall. Just so you're aware, if you decide for some reason you're like, fuck, that looks like so much fun, I want to play it. If that happens, well, now you know how you have to do it. I'm going to go south from here. It seems like the most likely place to find something, doesn't it, with the largest open space? Okay. Gold. Fuck, he's got way more hit points than I do. I found a lot of gold there, though. 568 gold pieces. Looks like you get more. Like each one you pick up has more in it than before. Let's try and find this gold before that wyvern gets to us. Not likely to happen. But if it can happen, well, maybe. He might still be able to pull a win out of this. Weird place for a door. Ah, spider's got way more hit points than I do. Gotta find this gold. Come on, tell me that's it. We found leet gold pieces. We did it! Look at that! A fucking one dungeon! After 35 years or so, I fucking won dungeon. Holy shit. Alright, well, I recognize that's no major accomplishment in general in life, nor is it probably something that, impressed the fuck out of you, but holy shit, guys, that's a milestone in, like, the life of me. That's kind of sad. Well, that's awesome. Alright, well, I'm out of here. No, I do not want to play again, but holy shit. I'm going to write this down. Gold. I got to write this down. 2273. 334 experience. And killed 5. 1. Man, oh fucking man, a beat dungeon. Alright, I'm out of here. The next thing we're going to look at is actually a, believe it or not, a variant of Dungeon, I guess, or so to speak. It's actually a remake of Dungeon, but it's changed a bit. It is an online roguelike, as far as I can tell, that exists. So we're going to take a look at it and see what it's about, so we can add it to our list of Let's Plays that we've done. Have a great day, everybody. I hope you're not snowed in the way we are here. It's like a good foot and a half or something like that outside. It's just insane. But I'm nice and cozy, warm inside. I'll talk to you later. Play again? No. Press N again. Ready. Look at that. Look at that old... Drops you right in that basic with the graphics still on the screen. That's awesome. See you guys.